There's recording.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So if let's go through the problems which you were able to do on your own. So sometimes it does happen that when you think of a problem, you have to do so many things first. And actually, ganun naman talaga with mathematical problem solving. Okay. By the way, my goal is to actually for you specifically for these sessions, what I would like to focus more is problem solving versus exercises. So let me talk about problem solving versus exercises. So hold on. Okay. Anyway, this is not something that you have to write down, but exercises versus problem solving. Okay. An example of an exercise. All right. An example of an exercise would be find the remainder.
Pwede lang po kayo sa speaker sandali pa.
All right, so yeah, I'll wait for you to set up. Okay. I'll wait kapag okay na kayo sa setup.
Hello, sus. Ayan.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay po. Thank you po.
All right. Okay.
Okay na po.
Okay, so I wanted to distinguish between an exercise and a problem. An example of an exercise should be something like this. Find the remainder when 370, say 379 is divided by 7. When you solve an exercise, you have to just apply directly whatever steps or algorithms were taught in a book or in class. It's like following a recipe book. Put ingredient number 1, stir for 5 minutes. So it's mostly following instructions. And a student who is unable to do it correctly is someone who did not know the steps or was not able to follow the steps correctly, or maybe a mistake was committed. On the other hand, an example of a problem would be something like this. Find the smallest positive integer which has a remainder of 1 when divided by 2, a remainder of 2 when divided by 3, a remainder of 3 when divided by 4, and so on until the very last condition, which says it has a remainder of 9 when divided by 10. If you look at the second example, it does not require you to use trigonometric functions or any other higher concept in mathematics, such as calculus. And in fact, if you think about the second problem, the basic mathematical knowledge will involve remainders, division, which is something that's done in grade school, in elementary. Pero ang difference ng exercise and problem solving is that when you're solving a problem, then you need to be more creative. You have different tools at your disposal, and it's up to you to decide how you're going to use these tools. All right, so a problem is not so straightforward. It's like you're a detective using the different clues. You're not sure how to use them. So for example, because there's a remainder of 1 when divided by 2, you know this is odd. Have you seen this problem before, Joshua? Have you seen this before? Not yet. Okay. So, and then it says it's not included. There's a remainder of 4 when divided by 5. So when the remainder is 4 when divided by 5, what does that tell you about, let's say, the last digit? Because if we already know that, sorry, what's that?
Either 4 or 9 po kasi it is 4 plus, there are only 2 last digits, there are only 2 unit digits po for multiples of 5, so plus 4. 4
Right.
and 9.
4 and 9. And then we know it's odd. So therefore the last digit must be 9. So you're right. And then in fact, if you look at the last clue, it's got a remainder of 9 when divided by 10. So that means we know for sure that the last digit must be 9. But then of course you have all these other clues which we may not be sure how to use. It has a remainder of 3 when divided by 4. It has a remainder of 6 when divided by 7. So there's going to be some we don't really know exactly how to approach it at the start. And that's the real hallmark of solving a problem. And exercises, they're easier to solve. But as you may have observed, I was in our last topic last time, I was more partial with problems. So despite the difference, I'm not saying exercises are not important, okay? They're very important. You need to know the basics. It's like for you to be able to write a novel, you have to know the basics first. You cannot not know the alphabet. If your hold on the rules of grammar are shaky, you are not going to be effective as a storyteller. So exercise is important. Problems are also important. But in the end, we'd like to be able to go to that other side where we would be able to solve problems. Now, so you solve this particular problem, find A, out of the realization that 15 factorial is divisible by 9. And so, well, we definitely do not want to multiply all the 15 integers. So we wanted to find a clue. And divisibility by 9 provides a clue because we know what the sum of digits must satisfy. The sum of the digits must be a multiple of 9. And in this case, adding all the digits is definitely easy. Easy enough. Okay, I forgot to charge my headset. So I'm just gonna maybe, hold on, since we've just started. Okay. Well, okay, we're definitely going to talk about this, and you were able to get it right. This particular square root problem, I was looking at your notes, and I was actually gratified that you were trying out the different strategies because they are very sound strategies. It shows a particular level of maturity. One such strategy is trying out simple cases, hoping that a pattern would emerge, because once you see a pattern, then you have a better idea of what to look for. So I saw you try this with the first factor, replacing it with 11, 111, 1111 sequences of ones. And then the second factor, you would have fewer zeros intervening between 1 and 5. All right, so all those led to the right answer. And you essentially got it. But let me present an equivalent solution. Actually, the same lang dun sa ginawa mo eh. So the second number, the ones and the zeros and the fives, that's actually 5 more than a power of 10. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 10 to the 12 plus 5. And then the first number, we could maybe try to see if we could also express it in terms of powers of 10. Are you familiar with geometric series already? It's okay if you're not. I just want to know if you're familiar with geometric series. Are you?
Arithmetic series po. There's
In particular, the sum of a geometric series.
And then the geometric series.
Also, these questions will help me decide how to plan future lessons if I have an idea of what you're familiar with. And hold on, sorry. It appears you're speaking, but I'm unable to hear you. So hold on, sorry.
Okay.
Nagsasalita ka pala, but I haven't changed yet. Hold on.
Alright.
Naririnig niyo po kami, sir? Sir? Ba't ano nangyari? Ito nga, sandali na. Ba't ka nagluloko na lagi?
All the
Wait.
settings. Test mic. Test. It should be working. Hello. There's something coming up. So, volume up. Bro. Low. Narinig niyo po ako?
Sir?
Wala yung mic.
Ano mo gagalawin? Sige nga, test mo ulit. Test lang. Hello, sir?
Test.
Ayun, meron.
Pero...
Yan mo baka na.
Wait.
Yes, sir.
Baka sa ano. Let me see. What's wrong? Not really. I don't think.
Sir? Ano?
Bro.
Kunin mo lang picture.
No, hindi ito yung device.
Huh?
Hindi ito yung device, it's screen sharing.
Hello?
Okay, I can hear you now.
But-
All right. We
Something
continue.
happened.
I was asking, are you familiar with geometric series? The sum of a geometric series. Okay.
So, sum of ano po, so kumbaga n and then plus 2 times n and then 2 times. So,
All right.
sum and then a sum of
So secondary, you have 2
May product.
plus 6
Common
plus
product.
18.
Ay.
Right. There's a common ratio, the same
Yeah.
multiplier. So here I'm multiplying by 3. Tapos, are you familiar with the formula for the sum?
I used to memorize that po.
It's okay. Mga things like that we can discuss. Kasi you may have seen the formula, but I think it's satisfying to also see where the formula came from. Okay, we can talk about that. Pero ganito na, let's say you have the first term a, and then ar plus ar squared plus dot, dot, dot. So the next term would be a r squared times r, so a r cubed. And then let's say you have a r to the n. So n was multiplied, so r was multiplied n times. So we have how many terms here? We have n plus 1 terms. The first term is a. We call r the common ratio. The formula is the following. We have a, and then r raised to n plus 1 minus 1 divided by r minus 1. Okay, the exponent n plus 1 here that we use is the number of terms. In what I wrote above, there are n plus 1 terms. So that's the exponent. Now for what we have here, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. This is a geometric series because you have
To the 0 and 1 times 10 to the 1 lang po, tapos 1 times 10 to the 1 times
10 to the how many? What's the exponent? 10 to the 10, no? Wait, 1, 2,
1, 2, 3,
9, 10, or 10 to the 11, right?
Opo, 11.
Minus 1 over 10 minus 1, which is 9. Actually, another way to think about this is 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 over 9. And then we see that the numerator is 1 less than the power of 10.
Opo.
All right, so it's wait, sorry, am I counting this correctly? 9, 10,
So
11.
if 99999, so apat po na blocks of 3. So if it's 1 less than the power of 10, it should be 1 followed by 12 zeros. So I think it's not 10 to the 11 po, parang 10 to the 12.
So sorry, this should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 to the 12.
Opo.
10 to the 12. Because as a geometric series, this is 1 followed by many zeros plus 1 followed by, again, so many zeros. Okay, so anyway, that's what the first factor is. It's 10 to the 12 minus 1 over 9 multiplied by 10 to the 12 plus 5 and then plus 1. Okay, and then you can rewrite the radicand as a single fraction with denominator 9. So this would be plus 9. Then here you have 10 to the 12 minus 1, and then 10 to the 12 plus 5. You used x, but that's also okay. Essentially, what you're trying to do is you're trying to find a relationship between the two major factors inside the square root. And then the 10 to the 12 minus 1 times 10 to the 12 plus 5, but that's going to be 10 to the 24 plus 4 times 10 to the 12 minus 5 plus 9 over 9 inside the square root. And so we end up with 10 to the 24.
You made a problem po, diba? Yung sa x to the 6, yung sextic po na. So basically, parang siyang ganun po.
So essentially what's going to happen is that we're going to end up with a perfect square. Right, so that means you really don't have to expand the whole thing. The square root of 9 is 3, and then the numerator is the square of 10 to the 12 plus 2. So that ends up being 10 to the 12 plus 2. And then, so ito mas madali nang isulat. 1 and then followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then the 12th zero will become a 2 after adding 2 and then divide by 3. And then you're going to end with the answer that you came up with.
Opo.
All right. Now here you were looking at 4 cases. So the 4 cases were W, X, and Y were equal. So Z is the odd expression out. So actually you have 4 choices. It's either W, which is unequal, or X, or it is Y, or it is Z, which are not equal to each other. However, if you look at the situation where A plus B, what would it mean if A plus B and A minus B were equal to each other? Then that would mean B is equal to 0, right? But then if B is equal to 0, then that means A over B is undefined. You cannot divide A by B if B was 0. So therefore, what this means is that A plus B and A minus B are definitely not equal to each other. Okay, so this leaves us with now just two cases. Either it's AB, which is equal to A over B, and which is equal to A plus B, and then A minus B is different. Or the second case, it is A plus B, which is different. And you have AB equal to A over B equal to A minus B. And then
po dyan is ano eh. So, I assume po, when AB is equal to A over B, just by experience siguro po, I just decided B should be 1. But then it turned out po, B can be negative 1.
Right. Okay. So experience is helpful because it helps us detect some things that we may have missed. Okay, but we also want to be able to back up experience with rigorous mathematics, ensuring that everything has been accounted for. Wala tayong naiwan na case. So I'm looking at, well, both of them, definitely AB equals A over B. So this is definitely something we need to take care of. What does that imply? AB equals A over B. So we know B squared, so we know B is not equal to 0. Now, we do have to be careful about dividing by A, all right? Because in general, you cannot divide by something that's, well, you cannot divide by something which could be 0 unless you know that it is really non-zero. So, well, kasi one way to proceed from here is, sige, let's multiply both sides by B. So AB squared equals A, and then move everything to one side. AB squared minus A equals 0. But then that means you have A multiplied by B squared minus 1 equals 0. So I believe you're familiar with solving quadratic equations. So this implies that either A is 0, or B is 1, or B is negative 1. So these are three possibilities that arise out of this situation. And then we could explore these, and then it might yield an impossible situation, but we are fairly sure that we are not leaving out any situation. Wala tayong malilimutan. All right. If A is equal to 0, mangyayari, 1 becomes, well, AB and A over B, they're both going to be 0. 0 equals A plus B. Well, 0 plus B, which means that B is equal to 0, but this is impossible. All right, we argued. Sorry, what's that?
Undefined nga po yung A over B.
Oh, right. So on the other hand, we get a similar situation out of case 2. 0 equals 0 minus B. Again, B equals 0, which is impossible. Okay, so this means we're left with just two possibilities. Either B is 1 or negative 1. Okay, let me write it here in the remaining space. If B is equal to 1, and then we explore what case 1 gives us, you have A times 1, so that's A, and then A over 1, so that's also A. But then on the right side, you're going to have A plus 1, which is impossible. And then case number 2, we're going to have A equals A minus 1. Again, impossible. So we're left with b equal to -1, and case 1 tells us that negative a equals a minus 1, which allows us to solve for a. And the value of a that we are going to get is 1/2. And then case number 2, on the other hand, gives us the following, negative a. So that's the value of ab, or a over b, and then a minus b. So that's going to give us a minus -1, a plus 1, which tells us that a is going to be equal to -1/2. Okay, so let's check. So let's check. If a equals 1/2 and b equals -1, so in fact, if you want, you could tabulate a b, a over b, a plus b, a minus b. These are going to be -1/2, a over b -1/2, a plus b -1/2, and then a minus b will be 3/2. On the other hand, if a equals -1/2 and b equals -1, we're going to get the following values. ab is +1/2, a over b is also +1/2, a plus b is going to be -3/2, and on the other hand, a minus b is going to give us 1/2. So we have 2 ordered pairs. A is 1/2 with b equal to -1, or a equals -1/2 with b equal to -1. And we can see that in each case of the 4 expressions, exactly 3 are equal, and the 4th expression is different. Although I think when you solved it, you got, did you get both ordered pairs, or I think just one?
Just one po. Kasi I overlook po na yung sa hindi na sa B equals -1. Yung dito naman, yung next na overlook ko ito. Na-overlook ko pa yung case 1 kasi I was assuming na case 2 po, which is yung equals A minus B.
Also, so you only considered case number 2. All right.
Opo.
Okay lang. We need to get used to sometimes dividing a problem into different situations. So in fact, what I have thought of doing for today are problems where we may have to consider different possibilities, different situations. Now, I made these problems available yesterday, but I don't know if you got the time to work on any of them. Did you? If not, it's okay. Were you able to try any of them?
Opo. I solved all of them except 2 yata. There are 2 problems po that I did not solve. Those are 3 yata and 3 and 7.
Okay, 3 and 1, 2, 3. So ito, the mean and median. 4, 5, 6.
Hindi pa po lumabas po sa inyo? Wala pa.
Wait, where did you put them? Can you share your solutions, and then whether it's right or wrong? It's perfectly all right, because we're here to look and analyze your thought process. So are they? Would you like to share them? Would you like to paste them here directly? The problems we can move them down.
Parang I already placed them po sa dito po.
Just sa pinadala niyo po kahapon, doon niya po sinulat yung solution.
Sorry, what's that?
He solved the problems exactly where you sent the problems yesterday po.
It's not that loading. Oh, starting to.
Baka naglo-load pa lang po.
Baka naglo-load pa lang. That's fine. That's fine.
Problem.
How can I?
Ano,
Maybe let's do it one at a time. How about the AAABBBC?
Oh, so for the AAA BBC, oh, nagalaw po yung mga problems. Anyway,
Oo nga,
can I,
gumalaw.
ano po, I can annotate. This is,
ang gagawin mo?
ask me to annotate. Can I annotate po? I can annotate.
All right. Okay.
There's nothing. The options. No annotate. No. Ano yan? I can annotate. Where's the annotate? Yeah, I can totally annotate. Right, I can annotate. Anyway, I'll just put the solutions here.
Actually, yun na.
Can you see po?
How about you share your screen so that I could also see? While I'm waiting for it to load on my side, I'm sure it's already displayed on your side. So I may not be able to write anything down, but go ahead and share your screen so I can start looking at your solutions. You're a co-host, so yeah, I'm gonna should be able to share. Okay.
Naka-share screen na po. So something went wrong. Paano babalik? I don't know how to move back. I can move it back.
Oh wait, did you write these yesterday?
Opo. I was already solving some po dito. Ngayon po.
Oh, you wrote them here.
Opo.
Ah, okay. So wait, maybe what I should do is try to refresh my screen. How started? Hindi siya wait, maybe I'll
Undo po. It's possible to, there's a button post under the file. You can just undo and undo and undo and undo po para mawala po yung mga previous actions. Hindi. I didn't move. I didn't move.
Saan problem?
Huh? I don't know. Where it went. I didn't move them. I didn't go, bro. I didn't move.
Nawala yung mga problems?
Hindi, binaba niya. Akala niya wala pa.
binaba ko kasi. So anyway, we could move the problems back. Okay, I'll move them back. Okay.
Kagabi po, nung tapos ng lesson niyo po, nag-solve siya ng dalawa. Tapos, and just before, mga 12:30 yata, nag-solve siya ng somewhere po. Bali, dalawa po yung natira na hindi niya na-solve po.
Oh, there, they're back. Yay.
Okay, so I put them back.
Okay po.
Okay.
Yung 7 still not loading po. Anyway, so, dito po yung, okay, dito po. Makip niyo po yung screen ko po.
Yeah, I can see your screen. Sige, because you're sharing it. Okay, sige, can you display your solution to number 1? Put it on center. And then in the meantime, I'll just read the problem statement from my OneNote here. So the letters A, B, and C represent different digits. A is prime and A minus B equals 4. And then the 7-digit number is a prime. So find the ordered triple ABC.
So only 5 and 7 po are they are the only primes that are that A minus B po, or let's say 5 minus B
All right.
is still equal to 4.
Right,
And
right,
then
right. So,
we
well,
will
okay, so
still
they are the
be
only primes with a single digit that are greater than 4. And then
Opo.
once you know A, you can determine B. So yeah, you have 7, you have 5, 1, and then 7, 3. Although, although by a technicality, your first option would have to be discarded because A, B, and C represent different digits. So in your first answer, your B and C are both equal to 1.
Ah,
But anyway, it's just a technicality. I'm really much more concerned with this is straightforward. You just the consideration of possibilities, and then actually for the last digit, you pretty much already know what to put there. So for example, you have 77333. So it's got to be definitely odd. So that means for 777,333, you could only put there 13579. But of course, you cannot put 5 because that would make the number divisible by 5. You cannot put 3 because you'd have something divisible by 3. You can't put 7. So it really just leaves you with 1 or 9. And then I suppose you tried, oh, not if you put 9, so it's not prime. But if you put 1, so 777,333,1 is indeed a prime number. All right, so that's straightforward. Number 2, can you please show what you have there?
number 2 was little so I decided po when I was solving this, okay, I find x is equal to -2 and 6. Approximate the
Mhm.
graphs po, and
But
so
I
was the
wonder how did
idea.
you solve for how did you find -2 and 6?
Oh, okay. So,
Uh,
ba?
how did you find -2 and 6?
Okay. Want to draw. Ah, wait, I will just stuff first.
That's if you're comfortable writing it on a different software. That's fine as well. That's fine as well. Your father mentioned and in Vision, if you're more used to that, that's fine. Or Microsoft Word, wherever you want to write.
Abo. Oh, wait lang. Let's
Mhm. Yeah, square to remove. All right.
Hindi, it's not algebra. Uh-huh. X squared plus 2x plus 1 plus x.
All right. So you ended up with a quadratic equation, and that's how you solve
Abo.
for x. Okay. Before you continue, because if you say you solved it by that method, I know you can do the algebra, and I trust I trust your algebra. However, what
There must be a
I
simpler po. There must be a simpler way
no,
to do it.
actually, I have an issue with this solution. I get what you're doing. You're using the fact that so wait, let me write something. So, oh, right in blue. So I get it that y squared is the same as the square of the absolute value of y. So I wrote something. I wonder if you're able to see that. Uh, just above let x equal to 1. Oh, gosh darn. Last time after our discussion, I tried doing it on my own, and it was okay. There, gosh, it takes a little bit of time. So how about ganito? I'm gonna share for now how I'm writing it down, so at least you can see. Okay, and then it's gonna reflect on your side. So yeah, and I get what you're doing here, but ganito, strictly speaking, what you're squaring here is the absolute value of y plus the absolute value of z. Okay, because y is x minus 1, but if you look at the first term, it's not really x minus 1, but rather the absolute value of x minus 1. So when you square, you're going to end up with the absolute value of y squared and the absolute value of z squared and the absolute value of y multiplied by the absolute value of z, which is doubled in the middle term. And I agree, this is equal to y squared. And then the last term is going to be z squared because of what I mentioned about squaring a number and its absolute value that you end up with the same thing. However, the middle term is unable to lose the absolute value bars. So this is still what it's going to be. I mean, -2 and 6 might turn out to be the only two values of x, but however, you would have skipped some, there would be a flaw in your solution. Unless you try to resolve this particular issue, it casts a shadow really on the correctness of your solution. All right. But I appreciate what you did because you were at least able to recognize we need to find a way to remove the absolute value symbols. All right. And one way of doing that was squaring. However, you end up still with this middle term where you're not squaring anything. And therefore, we are unable to remove the absolute value bars there. Okay. So anyway, I have some absolute value inequalities and statements that I'd like us to discuss later, all part of considering values cases on how to remove those absolute value bars. Okay, number 3, you said you were you able to wait, did you write something for number 3 or you skipped this?
Yung sa number 2 po, may area po eh.
Yeah, may area pa pero kasi ganito -2 versus 6 tapos how do you know how the graph of the function looks like? And I see what you did here. All right, you try to figure out I mean, yeah, you could use calculus, although it's actually not necessary to use calculus, but how were you able to anti-differentiate anyway? So for example, how did you integrate from -2 to 6 the absolute value of x minus 1?
Actually, I don't know. Kasi ano po, I just decided I will just calculate that po.
Okay, so when you calculated this area, the one shaded in pink, you didn't really integrate. You just tried to find the area using geometry. Is that what you did? Is that how you came up with this 34 answer?
I just plugged it into the calculator. I decided what will come out. Kasi I don't actually know the geometry behind that shape. I just know that
right.
probably like a deeper, but I don't know.
All right. The graph of that absolute value function rather. All right. So sige, at least it's giving me an idea of the things that we could talk about. All right. So we'll definitely talk about absolute values. How about number 3? Did you were able to?
So ito ba yung one of the problems na hindi ko po nasagot?
Okay. Or ganito na, sige, one thing that you can consider is well, the given numbers are 2, 4, 6, and 16. Arranged in order. When you're trying to find the mean or the average, you don't need them ordered. Okay, hindi natin kailangan i-arrange from least to greatest. We know that the sum of the four numbers is, so we got 10, 26, 28. So the mean is 28 plus x over 5. So ngayon, nung median, actually,
so actually, when I was thinking about a median, so the median po ordered. So what is the middle number? If there's not a middle number, what is the middle of the middle number?
Right. All right, but there
Okay,
are
let's
gonna
see
be.
about.
I mean, there are 5 numbers here: 4, 2, 16, 6, and x. So there is definitely gonna be a middle number. Okay.
But there's a problem po sa akin po eh. So if I let's say po x, if it's irrational, and then I put it inside, I put it in the middle of 4 and 6, will that be the middle po?
Well, if we actually, I don't see how x being rational or irrational would change things. Because if you put x here, okay, then in this case, x is going to be the median. Okay, so that means 28 plus x over 5 is going to be x. But what if x is greater than 6?
Then 6 will be the median po.
Oh, then 6 will be the median. But okay, ganito. Sige. Kunwari, suppose if, let me use a different color. Suppose x is somewhere here. Okay, and suppose the condition is that x is, for x to be placed there, x must be greater than 6, or maybe greater than or equal to 6. In this case, the median is going to be 6. I mean, even if x and 6 were equal, well, you would end up with 2, 4, 6, 6, 16. Well, you still have 6 as the median. Okay, and then if x were, even if it was greater than 16, 6 will still be the median. Okay, so in this case, what would happen if x is greater than or equal to 16? Then the equation that we would get out of that is the following, because the median equals 6. So we would have 28 plus x over 5 equals 6. However, when you solve this, what would we get? What value of x would arise out of this?
30, and then x would equal to 2.
X would be equal to 2.
If x
So is that possible?
No, kasi it will just go to the other side.
Right. Actually, ganito, our starting point is that we assumed x is greater than or equal to 6. And that leads to x being equal to 2. But this is not greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so therefore, this case has no solution. So the case here that we considered is this. Suppose x is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, parang nangyari, nag-assume ka, okay, suppose x is greater than or equal to 6, and then in the end, it led you to an impossible situation. And because it led you to an impossible situation. Why an impossible situation? Because the mean and median have to be equal to each other. But if the median is 6, that forces x to be equal to 2. But hey, we were assuming x is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, this violates x being greater than or equal to 6. So impossible. Therefore, this case has no solution. You could think of this as being comparable to what we were doing earlier today about that problem with 4 numbers. may a plus b, a minus b, a over b, a times b, and then one of the considerations led to b being equal to 0, and we decided, nope, that cannot be, that's impossible. All right, so that limited the choices we have left. So for number 3, I'd like you to consider other possible cases.
There are only two, instead of 4 cases, there are actually only 2 cases. This one.
Oh,
less
right.
than 6.
Okay, and we know there are only going to be 2 cases because ultimately it's just, wait, just 2 cases? I'd like you to think about that.
3 cases actually po. Because like
What are those?
if x is less than 6 but greater than 4, then it will be in the middle. And then
Oh,
x will be. So yun po
Right.
yung nasa taas po ng yung equation ay sa taas po na 6 is less than or equal to x po. May sunod po
okay.
tayo equals to
So
x.
why don't you try
Pero,
out those cases, all right,
opo,
for
if
next
x naman
time?
is less than 4 naman po, it will just go
Hmm.
to the 4
Right.
naman po.
Oh, but also be careful ensuring that you're able to absolutely cover all situations. For example, don't just assume x is less than 6 and strictly greater than 4, and then next x is strictly less than 4, because what if x is equal to 4? Or at least when you write down your cases, make sure that you have covered all situations.
Opo.
Okay, number 4, find all possible areas of an isosceles triangle if it has a median with length 15 and an altitude with length 24. And you said that a median can never be less than the altitude of the same triangle. However, in your depiction, what it shows me is a specific case that you were thinking of. It seems you were comparing uh, a median and altitude from the same vertex.
Opo.
But if you read the problem, they don't have to be from the same vertex, do they?
Medians than 15 altitude of. Yeah, it doesn't have to be from the same vertex. If they don't
All
have.
right.
Kasi po, so I'm thinking at this point naman po, it's not a flat. Kumbaga sa akin po hindi siya mataba po na isosceles triangle, so more of a
Mhm.
thin triangle. So the altitude will be much greater than the median. Opo.
All right. So you could consider those other cases. So this is also an exercise. Minsan college students, kasi they, I guess, never really had the opportunity to be questioned about their thought process. But it's really also an important thing to be trained in. For your assumptions to be questioned. What was I assuming? And then, I mean, it does also happen to me sometimes. It does happen the same way that it happened to you. So it really does happen. But as mathematicians, we try to train ourselves as much as possible to be conscious of what we're assuming. Because if we're not conscious, then we cannot consider all possibilities, all cases. All right, so number 3 and number 4, you've got your work set up for you, and then we can discuss next time. And then, of course, even though we only have 5, 6, and 7, I'm really interested with number 5. Because you use the Cardano formula. And but how did you end up with that inequality for number 5? Did you have it written down here?
No po. Kasi the Cardano formula is insanely big. I had to change variables so I would get a depressed cubic, and then from the depressed cubic I'll have nested square roots, so on po. I will end up with these inequalities po.
Although I wonder if that was necessary, because this is 0 is greater than 4x cubed plus 7x squared plus 2x. Then you can factor out
kasi
x.
in my opinion po, kasi I was thinking po, you can just remove the x. If you remove the x, then there will be a drop po in there will be a drop in degree. There should be 3 solutions po in a quadratic. But let's say if there should be in a cubic po. But then let's say we factor out the x and then we take it away. So we will end up with only 2 roots because it's a quadratic. So we drop a
But
root.
right now, we're not taking it away. We're not taking it away. So right now I'm interested in how we came up with -7 minus square root of 17/8. But I see that that definitely came from the consideration of 4x squared plus 7x plus 2. Well, because after you move everything to one side, you do get a cubic equation. However, you can factor out x, leaving you with a quadratic equation whose zeros you could still determine really without having to use Cardano's formula and the press cubic expressions.
So ito po, so you just showed po na is actually possible. In case na what are the cases po when you can actually factor out the x, and what are the cases po when you can't po?
Well, if
Before
there
po, I was
was
dropping
ganito,
a lot
ganito.
of roots.
All right, hold on. If it was 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 6x. So observe how the three terms all have x as a factor. And so therefore, we can factor x out. But if this was 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 6x plus 7, unfortunately, even if the first three terms all have x as a common factor, 7 does not. The constant term does not have x as a factor, and so in this case, we cannot factor x out. However, that's not the case here. All the three terms on the right side have x as a common factor, which makes x something that we can definitely factor out.
So it's possible pala po to factor out x's.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, ultimately, let's say you're looking at 4x to the fifth minus 7x cubed plus 3x squared, and then say even if that was not an inequality, that was an equation. So even though this is a fifth degree equation, there is no formula that can be used to solve a fifth degree polynomial equation in general, unlike the formulas, unlike the Cardano formula and the quadratic formula for cubic and quadratic equations. But ultimately, we also have to appreciate situations like this where perhaps those are not necessary, because these three factors all have a common factor, x squared. So you end up with 4x cubed minus 7x plus 3 equal to 0. Okay. But actually 4x squared plus 7x plus 2, I was wondering, I may have made a mistake here with copying. I was definitely not trying to, oops, my bad, my mistake. I wasn't expecting, I was expecting the quadratic to be factorable. All right, so pardon me.
So you have to use the quadratic formula po.
So nito, I definitely you don't need to use Cardano's formula. At worst, the quadratic formula.
Oh,
But let me 1 minus 2x. Oh, I see where I made a mistake. This was supposed to be minus. Okay, I was looking at my notes. So it was supposed to be minus. All right, sorry. Anyway, since we'll discuss this at some point, let me change that 4x cubed to minus 4x cubed. I'll do it in the original OneNote. It might take time for it to reflect to your screen. Okay, and number six, I see what you did there. You cross multiplied, right? Okay. Yeah. So these were things that I felt I thought we may still have to talk about them. Because let me, because you ended up with your solution x less than or equal to 3. So you're saying all values of x less than or equal to -3 are solutions of the given inequality. However,
there are probably other roots to them.
wait,
Someone says, however.
you did have you had a typo. Well, first off, I gave 2x minus 9. 2x minus 9 and in your
That's
solution.
fine.
Pero okay lang kasi I mean it's just a matter of correcting the algebra. So let's say we make that 2x minus 9, you would end up with 4x minus 18, let's say 3x plus 15. So we'd end up with x less than or equal to 33. Okay, so let me copy the original. 2 over x plus 5 less or equal to 3 over 2x minus 9. However, let me plug in 0.
If it's 0 po, then it will be negative. Then I would be multiplying a negative number, and then it's the sign has to be flipped, or dividing by a negative number in other case.
So 2 over 5 is less or equal to 3 over negative 9. So it's going to be false, which means 0 is not a solution. Okay, which means that the original answer needs to be corrected. Okay, because the describing all values of x, solving the given inequality as those values of x which are less or equal to 33, we realize there are numbers like 0, which when you replace x with, does not fit the inequality. So therefore, the solution set.
A very rigorous way of finding if certain roots are not part of it. Like to find holes po kumbaga in the graph.
Okay. Remember, anyway, when you, sorry, I didn't get everything that you said, but here in number 6, where do you think is the flaw in your solution? Where do you think is the error in your solution? It's got to do with inequalities and negative numbers. Okay. With inequalities, okay, do not cross multiply. All right, but because let's start with a correct statement. Okay, let's start with the following. 2 over negative 3 is less than 1 over 6. Right? This is true. But when you cross multiply, 2 times 6 is less than negative 3 times 1, we end up with a false statement. So especially when negative numbers are involved, we should not cross multiply, because when you do the cross multiplication, the resulting statement may turn out to be false, as shown by this example. And in 2 over x plus 5 less or equal to 3 over 2x minus 9, okay, 2 times 2x minus 9 less or equal to 3 times x plus 5 would be a valid consequence if x plus 5 and 2x minus 9 are both positive. But what if they're not? All right, sound. Hold on. Mic test. Mic test. Can you hear me? Joshua, can you hear me? Can you hear me? La 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 la. A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S. Oh, okay. Speaker. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z. Now I know my ABC. Next time. Oh, okay. Ito, yikes, since you are, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Hello, I can hear you. Dito sa Messenger, naririnig ko. Naririnig niyo ako? Sige. Okay, I'll wait for you. Ng mga settings. Sige. I'll just wait. Maghintay lang ako. No problem. Okay.